Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Babbling Pastors podcast. Glad to have you. We're all self-isolating currently. So
Yeah, I haven't moved in days.
no, he's just sat in his office. He's peed in the corner. It's just what it is, guys. No, for real though, this is a special episode dealing with what I don't think you've heard enough about it. You haven't got enough emails from
Right.
companies. You haven't heard enough
Yeah.
about it on the news. You were really waiting for me and Rob here to be like, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
There's disease.
Yeah. I actually debated that when I brought it up because I thought, this is like, I'm super sick of hearing about this. I wish that the only news that I ever got about it at this point was press conferences from my governor and the president, vice president, and that whole, like, if that was all that, that would be amazing because then none of the other stuff would be in my life. So naturally, I figured we should
definitely talk about it.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
here we are.
yeah, on that. So we're here. Here's the thing. Obviously, you've heard about it a lot. You don't need our input, but it is important, I think, to get a lot of different angles. So the reason that we are doing this, let's just for serious for a second, is that so every different conversation I've had with people, another angle of it comes out, right? So there's somebody will say something, I'm like, something, even though I've heard a lot about it, I haven't heard that biblical perspective yet. So I mean, it's been helpful. So I had a conversation last night. Actually, did another podcast last night with somebody else on this issue. And there were things that came up that I hadn't talked about before. I was like, okay, that was encouraging. That was helpful. So our hope is in doing this, that you get the kind of the same thing. So what do you want to start off here with talking about, Rob?
Well, I think, they're obviously, like in anything in life, there are a couple of extremes, right? And I think that we see both happening a lot among Christians. And these extremes are obvious. You've probably already heard 12 podcasts, if you're listening to this, about these kind of things. But maybe if nothing else, it will show that we're all kind of the same mind as Christians. And I think that the one extreme is that you are the person with an entire unfinished basement filled with toilet paper and you're freaking out. And Michael, you look really guilty right now. But like to the point where you're actually being stressed out and just scared and freaking out. And when scripture clearly teaches that God is sovereign, which we'll talk about all month of April long. Anyway, but God is big. He created the very God that spoke the earth into existence. Probably this isn't out of his control. So if I catch it, and he's in control of that as well. So the Luke 12:22-32 is what popped into my mind, and it's when Jesus is telling his disciples, therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you'll eat, nor about your body, what you'll put on. He tells them, if you're worrying about stuff, can't change one thing about the situation, so it doesn't do any good anyway, just to have faith in him. And then the other extreme is obviously, let's totally not even respect that there's anything going on and laugh it off. And so there's kind of
I've been rubbing people's faces just because.
right, yeah, just with your face, even just yeah, the holy kiss thing is probably out of order at this point, if your church does that. So
Does any church do that?
But I mean, just there's something to be said about respecting what's going on, and that people are actually dying, and so I phrased it. I meet with pastors in our town every Wednesday morning, which is when we record this stuff on Wednesdays. And this morning I was talking to them, and my phrase was, we should not be scared or stupid. Right. I mean, that if you can find kind of the middle between those things and be wise and loving and caring about the elderly people who are probably more susceptible to danger in this, and at the same time, this is an opportunity for us as the church to actually be the church and serve and love people well. And so fear can really get in the way of that.
Yeah. So, interesting question for you. Since you are a pastor of a church, are you guys having church normally, currently?
Great question. Um,
Maybe you don't know yet.
yeah, no, as I met with the guy, so Monday mornings we meet as elders every Monday morning, and uh, things were different here Monday morning. There was one case in North Dakota. It was like a 3.5 hour jaunt from here, and that one guy was recovering in his home. So like literally it wasn't a big deal, right? Um, and so our idea for this coming Sunday was going to be that we will, so for any of you who are watching this, it's Wednesday the 18th when we're recording this. So if like the zombie apocalypse is happening when you see this, don't think that was going on when we were making these decisions. But we decided Monday, based on what was going on in our own state, that we could probably go ahead and do things, and while at the same time kind of taking some precautions, warning people, hey, make sure that we're practicing hygiene like all toddlers and above should be, and shaking hands. I even actually did joke on our Facebook page, no holy kisses. So we were going to kind of just go forward business as usual, but let's be smart, right? But now we have cases in Fargo, North Dakota. We have cases in Bismarck, North Dakota, which is moving close. You probably don't know your geography about North Dakota, anyone who's listening to this, but that's getting closer to where I'm at, right? And so we're going to actually meet at 5:30 p.m. tonight to just kind of discuss what's going on. Other churches in town are Facebook Live and everything, and encouraging people to not come. So that's kind of where we're at.
Gotcha. Cool. I'm always interested to hear, because when it happened, I'm in DM chat groups with other pastors, and everybody was like, "Oh no, what are we doing?" And there were a couple of people that literally 2 hours before last Sunday were like, "Nope, throw it all in the trash. We're gonna live stream," which had to be chaotic because then everything had to be put together.
Yeah, whatever we decide tonight to do, it's going to be everywhere I can think to post it, by probably in video form, even by tonight. So
cool. All right. Good deal. Well, I think any last words on it other than, hey, be cautious, don't be stupid. Obviously that verse was really helpful. I mean, came from Jesus' own mouth. Don't be.
Yeah, Luke chapter 12 verses 22 to 32. Read it, believe it, adhere to it, and don't worry about what's going on around this joint, because God's in control. Because America is struggling with something doesn't mean that the end times are here and the rapture is going to happen tomorrow.
Are you sure, Jerry?
We've been living like that 3 days ago anyway, right? So anyway, yeah, I don't know, just that middle ground is what's important, right? This shouldn't be looked at by the church as a freak out moment, because our God is big. It should be looked at by the church as an opportunity to love and serve our brothers and sisters, and an opportunity to show out of their mind scared world that God is bigger than this and they should trust him. So
all right, good deal. Hopefully that added to helping you guys on this issue. And like you said, I mean, if aliens are watching this now and there's no humans left, sorry.
Yeah, if that happens, then we probably have deeper things to talk about than this virus anyway.
All right, guys, we will talk to you later. Have a great day.